Respected Dr. Mashelkar, who has been my guide, mentor, and a role model throughout my life. Most respected Dr. Radhakrishnan. I have not had an opportunity to work with him, but I would like to be his Eklavya someday. Dr. Ravi Pandit, who again I had the opportunity of having his guidance while I was in TDB. Dear innovators, dignitaries on the dais, ladies and gentlemen, I just have two challenges in front of me. What do I speak when there is such a luminary gathering which is there on the dais, especially Dr. Mashelkar and Dr. Radhakrishnan and Mr. Ravi Pandit. If my voice fails me, it is not because of bad throat, it is because I am nervous. I'll share just 3 stories with you. 3 stories, one my own story and 2 stories of somebody else. I always wanted to be an entrepreneur when I was studying in college. With a surname like Mittal, what else I could have thought of? So my business plan was ready. I was sanctioned a loan. My industrial shed was also allocated to me, and I was to graduate out of IIM Ahmedabad and start my own industry. But my professor, he said that there is this new institute which has come up, Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India, and they are organizing a program, how to start your own industry. You go and attend that program for 2 days. Well, I went to that program. That program was something like this. And I was very impressed with one of the speakers there, one Dr. Raval. I thought if I work with Dr. Raval for 2 years, I will have all the knowledge about small-scale industry. And then nobody will be able to beat me in small-scale industry. But friends, that was the end of my entrepreneurial dreams. The reason is I have all the knowledge today, in fact, better knowledge about small-scale industry, but I did not act. Knowledge is important, but action is more important. If there is one message which you want to take home today from my talk, knowledge is important, but action is more important. That was the first story. We are extremely happy to partner with KPIT. In fact, while sitting there, I was wondering, why didn't I come last year itself? Why it took me so many years to partner with KPIT on this amazing journey. It's a really impressive program. We do grand challenges in the department, but such numbers are very, very rare, very, very rare. So I must congratulate KPIT on putting this entire act together. Congratulations to all of you who are here in such large number on a Sunday evening. It is rare again, it is rare. You can give a clap for yourself. Now, let me tell you the second story. About 15 years ago, the managing director of Intel Corporation India, he came to me. We wanted to do an India Innovation Pioneers Challenge. So Intel wanted to do that program with us. And you know, the trust between the public sector and the private sector is not completely established. And 15 years ago, it was even less established. His name was Frank Jones. So I asked him, Frank, tell me frankly whether you will run away with the ideas of all these young children. So first of all, Frank laughed. He said, Mr. Mittal, it doesn't make sense for a company of the size of Intel to get into any business which is less than $1 billion. Because the cost of managing that business inside Intel would be very high. For your comfort, I would say that we would not look at any company, any idea which has a potential less than $500 million per annum. That was very convincing. I thought if my innovator is able to reach that turnover, they'll be able to deal with Intel as well. Well, we have had partnership with Intel for the last 15 years. Every year we have programs. We in fact send our winners in our competition, the innovators, to UC Berkeley for global, for global challenges. And in these global challenges, India has won 4 out of 5 times in the last 5 competitions wherever we have sent our children to. Well, last story. I was inspired by so many cars being here, so I thought of a story which is of an innovator, young Sardarji, B.S. Maan, who was in Delhi, near Delhi, in one of our incubators, JSS Academy of Technical Education. He was in the RFID space, nothing great in technology. RFID is a very common knowledge, very, very simple space. He used to make RFID tags. He happened to meet a builder there it is a large building complex, titled, the name of the complex is Shipra Sun City. It has 15,000 houses, and at that point of time had 20,000 cars. The problem in that complex was that 5 to 10 cars every month would get stolen. And the colony was getting a bad name. The real estate prices were not going up. The builder was worried. So Maan told him that I will give you a solution. I will charge 500 rupees per car per month. 20,000 cars, 500 rupees, a neat, clean business of 1 crore of rupees per month for a startup who has not seen 1 rupee revenue. Maan was jumping with joy. When he went to the colony to get people registered, he found out that there are resident welfare associations, and people who had lost the election in the resident welfare association made sure that only 3,000 cars out of 20,000 cars register for the new system. As a result, out of 8 gates of the colony, only 4 gates got fitted with the automatic system. Simple mechanism, RFID tag on the key, 1 on the car, and the reader at the gate. And the boom barrier will open if all these 3 match. Simple solution. But only 4 gates are fitted with the automated system, other 4 are still manual. Now those people who did not have the automatic system will come to the automatic system and start shouting at the gatekeeper, why don't you open the door? Kholta kyun nahi hai? And in that part of the country, this is very common. Janta nahi main kaun hu? Don't you know who am I? Who am I? So the fights started happening. Maan was now virtually in tears. The entire system was about to collapse. They went back to the drawing board, and they decided to employ deaf and dumb people as gatekeepers. People who could not hear, people who could not speak. So the fellow now again comes to the gate, starts shouting. This fellow at the gate is only folding his hands and pointing to this direction, that you go to gate number 4. He's only constantly doing this. You go to gate number 4. The fellow again gets wild. So he's shouting. Then he had, for some time, he had another person who would go and tap at his window. He will roll down the window screen and tell him that this fellow can't speak, he can't hear, why are you shouting at him? He says, what kind of people they employ? So, but internally he's hurt. He goes back to the other gate, the manual gate. 31st of December 2008, Maan hosted a party for all these deaf and dumb employees and their families, which was covered by the media very well. Next day, he made photocopies, took all the papers, and distributed in all these 15,000 houses. February 2009, 18,000 cars out of 20,000 cars registered for the new system. Everything is now automatic. And since they have the demographic details also, in the morning when I drive, supposing I'm a resident of that colony, morning it gives me a message, Mr. Mittal, your car insurance expires in 15 days. I immediately get worried, pick up the pamphlet, deposit the check either there or on the return. In the evening when I go with the family, there's a message, Mr. Mittal, a holiday package for you in Haridwar, depending upon my income level. For you, it could be Switzerland or Bahamas or any other location. So Maan was invited in the Cannes Film Festival in the super focused advertisement category to present his case because it makes people act immediately. To conclude, MAN became the biggest employer of deaf and dumb people in the world. Biggest employer of deaf and dumb people in the world. Thank you very much.